Hey everyone, Brian here. The new issue of the European Financial Forecast is online. The theme this month is complacency in the face of what I see as rapidly rising risk now. I opened this month going through this composite indicator of systemic stress. It's all metrics strictly from the euro area. And in just 2 years now, we've dropped from 0.74 to essentially zero, right? So fairly palpable fear at the last low in stocks. That was 2022. And we're back to historic complacency today. All of these previous periods of complacency led to crisis in one form or another. The '08 crisis is the high water mark still, but I've labeled some of Europe's prior sovereign debt crises. Back when those were winding down, we started laying out a case that there were core European economies, primarily France, that were really in no better shape financially than these smaller ones. And all I can say is that the press really seems to be waking up to this narrative. And, for good reason, right? We've had 4 prime ministers now ousted in 2 years, 2 of them gone in the last 9 months, credit downgrades, we've got widening spreads, we've got 10-year yields now that are rising despite cuts from the central bank. I always find it interesting how financial crises develop because it is partly rational, right? We can look at Greece, we can look at Argentina, Bear Stearns, Lehman, pick your favorite debt crisis. We can see, okay, this is where financial metrics were positioned when crisis developed, but it's also wildly irrational in the sense that some random event will come along and maybe a few influential investors will lose faith, they pull out, rumor spread, and panic develops. It is hard to pinpoint exactly where and when a crisis will develop, but it would not surprise me at all if France was the next domino. So I wrote up a whole section on this topic this month. There is a lot more to talk about inside. So thanks for reading. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the issue, and I will see you in the next video.